Yeah, on mod student, you are welcome to another section of equity valuation and analysis. And in this session, we want to look at characteristics of industry. And when we are talking of characteristics of industry, before we start, what do we mean by industry? Industry is the group of firms that produce similar goods. I said industry is what? Industry is the group of firms, or let me say combination of firms that produce similar goods. Similar or substitute goods. So that's the simple meaning of industry. Now, what are the characteristics of this industry? Let's look at it. What are the characteristics? When we are talking of characteristics, we are talking about a basic industry. We have different type of industry. We have engineering industry, we have food and beverage industry, we have financial industry, we have agricultural industry, we have a lot of industry around. But for the purpose of this course, we look at the basic industry we have. And when we are talking about basic industry, these are also called what? They are called the base. And it's the industry that are responsible for obtaining and transforming raw materials from its most primary phase, and in this way create semi-finished goods that later other industries will use in production of final goods destined for consumption. That's one by basic industry. And generally, there are heavy industries. These basic industries, they are heavy industries since they consume very large quantity of raw materials. And in addition, this type of industry usually require very high capital investment, given the amount of resources that are responsible for transformation. So that's on that. And when I'm talking of characteristics of industry, every industry require what? When I'm talking of characteristics, the industry requires raw materials. The industry requires semi-finished goods. That is, in the industry it produces semi-finished goods. It involves big investments or less competition. There is highly qualified staff, and we also have environmental impact. And aside this, let's look at the basic types. That is the type of basic industries we have. We have extractive, we have mining industry, we have steel industry. Under the extractive industry, we have mining industry. An example of mineral or metallic, or some of the products we used to get under mining industries are gold. And some of these products, some are metallic, some are non-metallic. We have gold, we have silvers, we have copper, we have lead as part of extractive products that we got from extractive industry. And one of the extractive industry is mining industry. There are a lot of industry we have. And before we go further, anyway, we are still under extractive. Let's clarify the extractive industry first. It is still the same under mining industry that we have non-metallic mining. When I'm talking of non-metallic, we are talking about granite. It's also part of those products we get from mining industry. We have marble, we have clay, we have esmeralda, and we have sapphire. Everything is under mining industry. And then, now, we also have another industry which we call oil industry. And under oil industry, there are major three types of phases there. We have upstream, we have midstream, and we have downstream. So when we are talking of upstream businesses consist of companies involved in exploration and production of oil and gas. So the upstream segment is characterized by high risk, high investment capital, extended duration as it takes time to locate and drill, as well as being technologically intensive. That is the upstream. We have midstream. Midstream businesses are those that focus on transportation. They are focused on what? On transportation. And they are the one that are responsible for moving of extracted raw material to refineries to process the oil and gas. And the midstream companies are also characterized by shipping, trucking, pipelines, and storing of raw material. Those are the midstream industry. And the last type is downstream industry. And when we are talking of downstream industry, these one are basically focusing on refineries. Then stream businesses are the refineries. They are the companies responsible for removing impurities and converting oil and gas to products for the general public, such as gasoline, jet fuel, heating oil, and asphalt. Those are the types of industry we have in brief. And before we leave this section, let's briefly look at the characteristics we said earlier. Remember, we said that the raw material is one of the characteristics. That is, there are vast majority of this industry that are characterized by working from different raw material in their initial phases. And aside that, in the basic industry, there is semi-products or semi-finished product. So the basic industry are in charge of producing semi-finished products so that other industry can then use them for manufacturing of the final product. And we have big investment and less competition. It indicates that this industry are dedicated to producing heavy machineries, and therefore the initial investment is very, very high. And very few companies are interested in entering this industry or cannot even afford it, which make the competition to be very, very low. And lastly, second to last is highly qualified staff. So while other simpler industry can survive and function with personnel of all skills level, all these type of industry workers must be highly trained to be able to function efficiently. Those are the basic industry, those that has to do with industry from the at least industry that provide good for other industry. And lastly is environmental impact. Due to the amount of the waste they generate, whether they are gases released into the air or waste that end up in the river, this industry are the one that can create the most danger in the environment field. So that's about that regarding the characteristics.